Hello and welcome to Chapter 2, Section 3. Today we're solving two-step and multi-step equations. For example, what happens if we have a variable with something multiplied to it and added to it both on the same side of the equation? So we're going to start with the number that's the farthest away from the variable. This number is actually connected to it, which means it's multiplied. This number is added to it. It's a little farther away. So we're going to start by getting rid of the one that's farthest from, but still on the same side of the equal sign as the variable. We're going to add or subtract to get rid of this number. And then we're going to multiply or divide to get this variable by itself. So here's what that looks like when we work this problem. We're going to start by taking care of the number that's the farthest away from the variable but still on the same side of the equal sign. So we're going to start by saying minus 1995 on both sides. These are going to go away, and this gives us 4345. And that equals 395C. Now I'm going to divide each side by 395 to get my C all by itself. And C equals 11. Two steps. This is only a two-step equation where first you do the farther one and then you do the close one. So let's work with some more of these equations. 10 equals 6 minus 2x. Here, with my x, I've got something multiplied and something subtracted from it. So we're going to start with the farthest away one. I have a 6 here. In order to get rid of this positive 6, I have to subtract 6 from both sides. So this is going to go away, and I have 4, because I can easily do this math, bring down my equal sign, and I've got negative 2x. So now I have a next problem. The next step to this problem is to get rid of this negative 2. If I divide each side by negative 2, because it is multiplied to it, I'm doing the opposite, then I've got x equals negative 2. Our next sample, we have q divided by 15 minus 1/5 equals 3/5. This is close. This is far. So we're going to get rid of this first. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add 1/5 to both sides. And I'm keeping my problems neat. 3/5 and 1/5 is 4/5. And I'm going to bring that equal sign straight down. And now I have q divided by 15. I'm going to multiply both sides by 15. So that I get q all by itself. 5 goes into 5 once, 5 goes into 15 3 times, and q equals 12. Here, we're going to add another layer. This is more than two steps. 6x plus 3 minus 8x equals 13. First thing I'd like to do, you can go one of two ways. You can get rid of your number first so that all you have is variables and then combine your variables because these are like terms. Or you can combine your like terms first, then get rid of your number, and then solve for x. It doesn't matter what direction you do it. I'm going to get rid of my 3 first because it's the farthest thing away from any of my x's. So here I have 10 equals 6x minus 8x. And now I can do this math and say negative 2x equals 10 and divide each side by negative 2. And I get x equals negative 5. This will get you through, check it out, numbers 1 and 2. Then we have this problem. What if we've got a set of parentheses inside our equation? Well, we're going to treat this just like PEMDAS, and here we have another multi-step equation. So I've got x plus 2, and I can't add these because they're not like terms. So I have to distribute. This is really a negative 1 multiplied to my x plus 2. So we're going to distribute this -1 to both of our numbers. So I'm going to bring down my 9 and I'm going to bring down my 6, and -1 times x is -x, and -1 times 2 is -2. So this is my new problem. Now I have like terms I can combine, and I want to get them away from my x. So I'm going to combine 6 and -2, and I'm going to get 4. Let me bring down my 9. 4 minus x. Now I want to get my 4 on this side of the equation. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, and I'm going to get 5 equals -x. I have a -1 multiplied to my x. I want to get rid of it. I don't want to know what -x equals. I want to know what x equals. So I'm going to multiply each side by -1, and x equals -5. Now you have everything you need to do check it out number 1, check it out number 2, and check it out number 3. Please pause, do those 3 check it outs, and come back. Check it out number 1, we're going to add 4s, and then we're going to divide by 7 so that x equals 1. 1b, we're going to add 5/7, then we're going to divide by 1.2, and we're going to get y equals 6. 1c, we're going to subtract 2 and then multiply by 7, and n equals 0. Check it out number 2, we're going to add half and then divide by 2, which is the same as multiply by 1/2 because you're dealing with fractions here, and x equals 11/4. It also equals 2 3/4 if you're making it into a mixed number. Those are the same thing. 2b, we are going to add half, and I'm going to add 4/8 here so that I've got a common denominator. And then I'm going to multiply by 4/3 because I have to divide by 3/4, and u equals 1/2. Here I'm going to add 1/3, and then I'm going to multiply by 5. Adding 1/3 here gives me 9/3, which is the same as 3, and multiplying by 5 gives me 15. Check it out number 3. I can combine my 2a and my -8a to -6a. I subtract 3 from both sides and get 5, and then I divide each side by -6 to get my a all by itself, and I end up with -5/6. 3b, I have a -2 that I have to distribute to the terms in the parentheses. So I end up with -6 plus 2d equals 4. I'm going to add 6 to both sides to get 2d equals 10, and I'm going to divide each side by 2 to get 5. Here I have a 4 I have to distribute, so I have 4x minus 8, bring down the plus 2x and the 40. I'm going to add 8 to both sides, and I'm going to combine 4x plus 2x to get 6x. 6x equals 48. Divided by 6, x equals 8. If you have any questions on any of these check it outs, please make yourself a note to ask me questions so that you can go into the homework solid. Example number 4 asks the same thing in a slightly different way. They say that if 3a plus 12 equals 30, then find a plus 4. So first we need to solve for a, and then we need to stick that into this equation to find out what a plus 4 is. So we're going to solve this equation like usual, and I'm going to start with the plus 12 because it's farther away from the a, so I'm going to subtract 12 from both sides, and I'm going to get 3a equals 18, and then I'm going to divide each side by 3, and here we see that a equals 6. Then I'm going to stick 6 in for a so that my final answer is 10. Not a huge jump, just asking you for yet another step in the equation. Do check it out numbers 4 and 5, push pause and come back. So check it out number 4, 1595 plus 12M because there are 12 months in a year, and I used M for their monthly fee, equals $735.95. So we took off the initial fee and just the 12-month part is $720, and we divide that by 12 to find out that it's $60 per month. Number 5, if 2x plus 4 equals negative 24, then what's 3x? So we subtracted 4 from both sides to get 2x equals negative 28, and then divide by 2 and x equals negative 14. So 3 times negative 14 is negative 42. That's our section. Tomorrow's homework is page 96, numbers 24 to 49. See you tomorrow.